I'm kind of lying.
Hey, good morning from Euroshop again. I'm Moritz. My today's guest is Tom Hurlbut. And Tom says for himself he's able to predict the marketing for the next 5 years. So I'm pretty curious, and I would like to share.
So much pressure.
Yeah, sure. So Tom, can you share a little bit of your background and why
Sure.
are you able to give us some insight how the market is changing in the next 5 years?
Yeah. So I've been in this business for over 30 years, and I've done a lot of different jobs, right? From sales to engineering to running product development, and of course running worldwide businesses in the past. So it's very unique that I get the opportunity to do that and have this career that I've had. And so you really take a different perspective and look at every angle instead of just a engineering angle, for example. You really take a look at sales and product development and a lot of different areas that really help you look at the market and understand the market. And of course, voice of the customer is number one for me, right? To listen to the customers, what they're seeing in the market, what they need from capability standpoint, product standpoint, et cetera. So very unique position I'm in, and I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I've had throughout my 30-year career.
That sounds pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, it really is.
So I just got listening to the customer is one of the very important points.
Yeah. I try to spend the majority of my time with customers and understanding the challenges that they have, right? I mean, you can sell products very easily, but to really find the underlying problem that customers are having, and they're all different. So solving those problems. And if you look at our solution stack that we put together as far as capabilities, majority of them came from customers, right? It's not me saying we need to do this or that. And we're in a very unique place with our customers. We have a very good relationship, and they're open to tell us, what is driving their business and how we can help.
Nice. So you are also using, beside our customers' input, is there any other data you're using for that, or how do you make your predictions?
Of course. I mean, there's data that we get from, IDC and different data sources there, but also just generally understanding the markets that we serve, right? In OEM, we serve a lot of different markets, right? And what I've done over the past 2 years is not really look at vertical markets so much, but use case markets. And because it's changing. And the product sets and services can be used in many different ways. It's kind of like, I love Kohan shoes, right? You may like them because they're stylish, people may like them because they're comfortable. But at the end of the day, they do the same thing. They serve the same purpose, right? And so taking that and scaling that with customers and the influence that they give back to us is very important. And that's really what sets our direction in how we develop products, how we develop services going forward. But it also gives you a good insight to where the market is leading and where it's going from the input that we get back from our customers, what they need and what they see.
So I would assume, especially looking at the OEM and retail business, I'm thinking we're not doing that alone, right? So we're likely partnering with some other guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So about a year ago, I asked the team to put together something we call Crosswave. And Crosswave is a unique partnership with independent software vendors, right? So Lenovo is very good at designing platforms, leveraging IP that we have from all the different business units. But what we were missing is, okay, how do we help customers bring things to market and maybe not a total turnkey, but maybe 80%, right? So we need that software layer. And so the software industry, from my perspective, is changing quite a bit. The ISVs are getting better and better at programming their own applications. In the past, everybody would throw hardware at the problem, right? And so these new, I'll say a new age of ISVs, which I call thin and light, that's my own term, where they can really run on any type of device, right? And they've done a really good job of capturing that and running on a very thin hardware level. Instead of, running on big servers, they're running on, maybe a tablet, maybe a desktop workstation. They can do it with less power. So they picked up efficiencies along the way.
So if I get that right, so in the past where we needed large data centers to run likely those applications, today we are only needing like a tablet or?
Yeah, in some cases, not all, of course, right? If you look at our Edge business, right, before Edge, you would have to have some pretty high horsepower at the edge, or you had a gateway and that was sending it to core or to cloud. So what we've learned is cloud is somewhat expensive. Core is somewhat expensive if you don't have the initial setup to do that. So today, the analytics, and I'll say entry-level analytics, where you're looking at maybe manufacturing and you have a camera system that's looking at the color of something, right? So you can do that with AI, you can do that with computer vision, and then you can do it with a small application agent on the device itself. So that makes it very thin. Instead of going all the way to the core of the cloud, that data set is defined right at the edge. And so if you look at our Edge portfolio, a lot of it's very thin and light, and somewhat inexpensive compared to, a workstation or a server.
Okay, so actually this portfolio is just now enabling our ISVs to do what they are doing
Yes.
in a certain amount of cost,
yes,
right?
Exactly. And the ISVs, one challenge that they have is when they come out with the software, they release it, the consumer of that software can run it on any hardware device. But when they have a problem, who do they call? The ISV. The ISV then has to support multitude of manufacturers, which is very time consuming and it inflates their back-end operational costs on support. So they're coming to us as Lenovo, as a tier one, saying, you guys have all this engineering resources that you put in place. We have a big lab in North Carolina for OEM where we can basically take the ISV's software, lay it down in any platform that we have, and then we optimize our hardware and their software to run in relationship to pick up, different speeds, or it could be, help them with BIOS tuning or different things like that. So the ISVs actually see a big value in coming to Lenovo because we have all these engineering tools for them.
Okay, interesting. So it's really about a very close partnership between us and those software vendors who are, and we are helping each other to implement the best solution possible, right?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about for me. And we can deliver a solution to the market in a very quick and orderly fashion, right? Where in the past it may take 1 year to do it. We keep track of how long it takes for these deployments, because scalability is important, and what I call days to cash is really important for our ISVs and our customers.
Sure. So, this is what we're doing today already, right?
Yeah.
So when we're now looking into the future, what do you think where the journey will head to? So what are the next likely things we are going to see in the retail and OEM market?
So in the retail market, since we're here at EuroShop, we'll talk about that for a little bit. So in retail, we're pretty good at picking up, using analytics to define male, female, roughly age, who's looking at our product, how long did they look at it, which is great. But there's a problem that we need to solve for, and that problem is, did that customer buy, right? Number one. Number two, if they didn't buy, why? Okay. Number three is, how do you take a brick and mortar, right, store, and merge that with their e-commerce store, right? So the example that I always go to, since Motorola is a Lenovo company, Going into a store and looking for a device. It can be a phone, it can be whatever you want, right? And having technology working in a digital display, right? In the past, you hung a TV and it's like, okay, we got digital signage. Okay, that's not going to be good enough anymore, right? So, that digital signage is going to give you technical information about the product or the service that you're selling,
like that,
right? Because the personnel or associates in the store, I mean, it's harder and harder to find labor. You understand that. So the digital signing now has to be an agent where you're telling customers in an interactive way what this product does, what the feature or benefit is. And the customer is going to make up their own mind without talking to anybody, right? And then the next evolution of this is it in stock? And if so, where do I pick it up? Right? So there'll be a button that you push, theoretically, and you'll go pick up that device. If that device is not in stock, you have to have another button saying, oh, we can have this for you in 24 hours. That's where the e-commerce piece comes in.
Okay.
And you tie that all back together. So the sales funnel is completed a circle.
Okay, gotcha. So it sounds a little bit like I'm getting the best out of both worlds. Like all the information, for example, if I'm shopping techniques or so in an online shop, I now also likely have in a retail store in the future.
Yes. I mean, even shoes, right? There's a lot of technology in shoes. So you walk into a shoe department and there's like, 20, 30, 50 shoes. And it's
Hundreds.
like, okay, what's the right one for me? And you have to have that interaction. It's like, okay, what are you going to use the shoe for? How long do you want to keep it, right? Here's the technology that we used against waterproofing or whatever it may be. You have to do that education piece because during COVID, we all did that education piece online, right? Sure. You did a lot of research and, all that kind of stuff. So the consumer's used to that. Now they just need that in a different way.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So if I got that right, it's basically all about bringing that information to the customer, that additional information, getting that information from the customer, like what is he's interested in, and also about some automation. So like pushing that buttons and getting those shoes automatically or getting them sent home or whatever.
Yes. Wow. So you're really merging the online experience to the brick and mortar experience in a very different way.
Okay, thank you very much for that deep insight. So any prediction you can make for the next 5 years where you aren't 100% sure that this is happening? Let's keep it 98%.
Well, I think that we have a big opportunity in display technology, right? In the past, like I said before, we'd hang a TV on the wall and that's digital signage, right? Well, that's not the case anymore. So I think how we use displays, it can be round displays, and they're going to be different size displays. It's not going to be the standard 55-inch TV, right? So they're going to be small, and they'll make up. And the display, like we use in our Motorola Razr, it folds. You can bend it around. So you're going to see more of that type of technology, in the coming years. And you're going to see that in automotive. We do some stuff in automotive also. So technology around displays is one of the big areas. And then displays in general, because that's the interface to the world, right, from a consumer view.
So hopefully next time when we're sitting here, we'll have something more entertaining in the background.
Yes, exactly. So, and then the next thing is I think, as the ISV ecosystem evolves even more, you're going to see, applications on your phone interface with, your PC. It's out there today, but I think it's going to be more relative in the seamless transaction between those two.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think our time is over. Thank you very much for that very deep insight. It was pretty interesting. And people, if you're going to visit us at EuroShop, we are on Hall 6. I cannot remember the booth, but we'd like to welcome you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.